Hey guys, my name is Marta, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about my last read and most recent bookish obsession, which is A Fairly Honourable Defeat by Iris Murdoch. This is one of Murdoch's most popular stories, and it was also the first thing I read by the author, and it made me become obsessed with her since now I've accumulated a lot of her other works. If you don't know what A Fairly Honourable Defeat is about, it tells the story of this huge cast of characters whose lives are intertwined, whether it's by blood relations or by sentimental relationships, who get together after not seeing each other for a long time. When two people who had left the country come back. One of them is Morgan, who is Hilda's, one of our main characters' younger sister, and the other one is Julius King, who's a man who had this sort of affair with Morgan and is a very manipulative person. After these two characters get back, and because of Julius' abilities with manipulation, this cast of characters' lives are going to get a little messy, and a lot of problems are going to start to show up in their lives. The book is a tragic comedy, so it tells a mix of fun and tragic events, but they are overall told to us in a very comedic and funny tone. Iris Murdoch's writing style is fantastic. I personally really enjoyed her way of telling the story, of describing the situations and the characters, and I really enjoyed how he chose up to divide the book in very short chapters, each of them describing a scene and in which you can see a situation that some of the characters experience. That made the book feel very theatrical, and really emphasize the tragic comedy that it is. It also really showed all the Shakespearean influence she got from reading Shakespeare's works before writing this book, because I learned that from the introduction, and having that in mind while reading this was a very enlightening experience in some ways, since I was able to see how she had gotten inspiration from some of Shakespeare's characters and stories, especially The Tempest and probably also A Midsummer's Night's Dream in a way. Going back to the story of the book, now I wanna talk a bit about the characters. The book, as I have already said, features a huge cast of characters, but do not be overwhelmed by that, because it is not overwhelming at all. The characters get introduced to us in a very slow-paced way that allows us to digest who they are, what they do, and what are their relationships with the rest of the people in the novel. The characters are also very well crafted. Each of them has their own backstory, and each of them has their own personality that distinguish them from the rest of the people that appear. The book is overall a story that gets more messed up as it goes, and as the tension between the different characters starts to build up. It's a book in which our main characters will all have to face some sort of problem inside of their own relationship, and this problem will really make them see how strong the relationship is. It's a book that will allow you to dive deep into different types of relationships and how they can build up and break down because of something as small as the manipulation that Julius King does to all of them. And it's a book that will make you want to keep on reading, which is something that is very important when you're reading a book as big as this one, since it makes it look way less intimidating. And speaking of the fact that the book is very readable and very accessible, it is mostly told in dialogue, something that emphasizes that theatrical aspect that I previously mentioned, and something that really puts you into the scene. Most of the chapters begin with a dialogue, so you get squeezed in the middle of a scene, and I personally really enjoyed it. It might not be for some people, since most of the time it doesn't tell you who is talking. That is something that really amazed me, since despite not being told who was talking, most of the times I could tell who it was, since Murdoch had crafted all these characters exquisitely well. And yeah, I really enjoyed that of the book. I really enjoyed how readable it was and how amazingly created it also was. As apparently most of Murdoch's novels, the book is not only a story but also includes many philosophical meditations, and I really enjoyed that. There were some moments in the story where some of the characters started to reflect on their lives and on the world's and everyone's life in general, and as a reader I found that very enlightening, and some of the things they said made me realize and think about things that I hadn't thought about, and I really like it when novels make me think, so I personally really enjoy that. And I also really enjoy how those very philosophical moments were sometimes intertwined with these very human-like, natural conversations that are most of the times closer to being funny and ridiculous than to being serious. Personally, I really enjoyed the book. As I have already said, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and Iris Murdoch is now one of those authors that I can see myself reading all of her novels, and she has a lot of them, so that is nice. I love the story, I love the way it was told, and I love every single moment I spent reading it. I finished the book 2 days ago and it's still on my mind. I'm still reflecting upon the story, and I personally adore that. I could perfectly restart reading this if I felt like it right now, because I loved it that much. Before reading this, it had been a while since I had fallen in love with a story, with a cast of characters, and with a new author, so this book had everything that I had been waiting for a while, and I absolutely adore that. Also, I've also really enjoyed how the story is crafted and how the tension slowly builds up until the very end, when you get to see what happened, when you get to see and read about the way Julius King has created this snowball of events that are starting to burn down this characters' relationship between each other. It's a book that really shows how something really small can turn out to be something really big, and it's a book that is overall amazing. I would recommend this book to anyone, but especially to those who like reading books that really dive into the characters' lives, and books that do not have a set plot but that are more about the relationships that take place between the characters. I would recommend this to people who like funny books but that have also this deep message. And I would recommend this to people who like Shakespeare, because I have already said the author was very inspired by Shakespeare's works. I think that was all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you've read this book, and if you've read any other Murdoch, comment down below which one is your favorite and which one do you recommend me read next. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me, and I hope your day's gone amazing, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!